who's who. But before like the who's who and the breakdown and all that kind of stuff, one of the most important things that I'm sorry, I don't know what just happened, but
I don't know.
I must have hit something. But anyway, one of the things that I feel is one of the most important things, because this is one of the questions that I'm asked often as well. Like, how do you deal with so many different personalities? And, we have 3 teenagers in the home, and it gets a little crazy. It's 4 teenagers total, but one is not here on a full-time basis. But the 3 that are here often, yeah, it gets a little crazy, because teenagers and they little attitudes, and even all 3 of them, of course, they're different. So then you have, the younger ones, and just everybody has different personalities. But that's one thing I think in any family, whether you have 2, 3, 4 children, or 11, 12, 13 children, whatever the case is, you have to remember they're all individuals and they all have their different personalities, and you just can't treat them all the same. That's something that I actually had to kind of learn myself too. Like, with having so many children, like, I can't do the same thing with my younger son that I might have done with my older son. Or my middle daughter, I might not be able to do or allow her to do the same things as my oldest daughter. Or, different things like that, because they're not the same. They're not going to respond to things the same. They're not going to respond to punishments the same. It's funny because I actually had a conversation with our 16-year-old yesterday. She was talking on the phone to a friend of hers, and she was laughing, and she said, "What? He's on punishment? How he's 17 and he still get on punishment?" I gave her the side eye so fast. I'm like, okay. My first question is, does he still live at home? She's like, yeah, but how do you put a 17-year-old on punishment? I said, I wouldn't tell you go upstairs to your room, because teenagers these days don't care about going to their room.
Yes.
They just
I want to go to my room.
Right. They're going to go to their room, get on their laptop, tablet, phone, and just be by themselves, especially in a house like ours. It's like, go to my room and be alone. Oh, thank you, Jesus. So that wouldn't be a punishment. I told her, I said, if you were on punishment, she don't really do much to get on punishment, but I told her, I said, if you were on punishment, I wouldn't even take your phone. I'd take all your chargers. Her face was so blank, like, oh, yeah. So different things for different children. And that might not work for another one of my children. They just got different personalities.
Yeah, like the 16-year-old and the newly 9-year-old. Happy birthday, Kennedy!
Happy birthday to my baby.
I'm not saying that to you in real life. We're talking on the air, so don't come up
in
here all hype. We're live on the air, okay? But, yeah, so doing that with her, it wouldn't bring the same effect. I mean, she loves her electronics, but if you tell her to go sit there with a book,
oh my gosh,
she's in like heaven. So it's like when you get to that place where you want your kids to read because you know how fundamental and beneficial reading is,
but then take books from her.
When you want to punish the child because you know what they love and what it is that hurt them the most, then it's like, all right, you're on punishment. I'm taking all your books from. Oh, you feel like a bad parent.
Right, you kind of can't take books. It just really doesn't work. And I've even had people say, well, make her read this kind of book, or only let her read the dictionary, or it doesn't matter what you let her read. You can give her the New York Times. She is going to read it and she's going to love it, and it's going to make you mad because she'll read something that you thought you gave her that was boring, and she'll say, "Hey mom, come here and look at this. Listen to what I just read." And she's so excited about it. It's like, give me that book.
Yeah. So, with that and being in a blended family and having children with different personalities, I mean, even if you don't have a blended family, all your children have different personalities. I know so many sets of twins that are so completely opposite, it makes no sense. They just look exactly alike. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, dealing with the different personalities, that's not even really a blended family discussion. That's just a family discussion, period. Because no one is the same. No one is alike. So learning how to deal with those things is very difficult. Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about discipline. We're talking about discipline a little bit now. So, I mean, something that you do on one child necessarily isn't going to be the same on another child. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, old school punishments, they work. I can't name them on the air because the SEC, the FCC, the FBI, the CIA is probably listening, and they're like, "Ooh, they're talking about children. I wonder how they discipline them." Then we're gonna have people knocking on the door. Come on, you're coming with us, sir. You made your child stand in the corner and look at the wall for too long. You can't discipline your kids no more, y'all. Oh my god, this is a whole nother topic because I don't want to get it twisted. My beatings changed my life. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I got beat sometimes and it was like, yo, I deserve that one. I learned my lesson. I ain't gonna do that again. If that was wrong right there, I'm not gonna do that again. But these kids nowadays, it's like, I wish you would hit me. I will call 911 and get you locked up.
That's when back in the day you used to be like, go ahead, I've dialed a number for you.
Exactly, and you could do that.
Yeah.
I remember this one time. I'm not going to talk about it. Moving on.
We're just going to leave it right there.
Yeah, I know all of y'all have those remember this one time stories that you know you really can't talk about in today's society because it's just going to be so frowned upon. And I mean, they might try to bring you up on like OJ stealing your own stuff charges from killing somebody 45 years ago. That's how it is nowadays. But dealing with the different personalities and discipline, it is extremely difficult.
Yeah, it is. Because just like we were saying, you know, what works for one child won't work for another. Time out might work for one child, you know, and like time out might work for one. A good plucking or popping might work for another. Just that daddy look might work for...
You can't say plucking or popping on the air.
Okay, I'm just saying, not that we do that. I'm just saying, like, that might work for you in your house. You know, I don't know what you do.
Pop, y'all. Just a little pop.
A little tap on the finger.
Just a little
tap.
Y'all heard that? I know y'all heard. Look, that's it. That was it. That's it. A pop.
But anyway, you know, so what works for one child might not work for another. And, you know, like... With a few of my children, they forced me to get so creative. Like, it has to be like, I remember, okay, my teenage boy, my oldest son, he'll be 14, and he used to force me to get creative when I was younger. And it's funny because our newly 9-year-old is the same way. You can't just say, go to your room. You can't say, I'm taking this electronic from you. You can't say any of that. So, what I started doing with him was when he would act up in school, say for instance he was disrespectful to the teacher or something, he was lying to the teacher. So I taught him how to use a dictionary when he was 5 years old. Not go online and look stuff up. Taught him how to use the dictionary. 5 years old. And I would pick 3 words. So it would be like he lied to the teacher and he was disrespectful. Okay, so you had to look up lie, teacher, and disrespect in the dictionary. I only showed him maybe twice how to use it. After that, if you don't remember how, then you just got to flip through the pages one at a time so you find them 3 words and write down the definition. So those were his kind of punishments. But you know how much thought, how much time it took to think of something like that? I don't think of stuff like that. Like Kennedy, the 9-year-old, I gotta have her doing research papers at 9. Like even that's interesting to her, you know. So it's just funny. It's just funny. Yeah, so
now what we did, we went to what we know, and now whatever the crime is, the discourse, the negative action, we take it to the Bible. We find Bible scripture that relates to the crime that was committed, and they just write in our Bible verses multiple times. Yeah. You know how like Bart, when he used to get in trouble in class, he used to have to write, I will not do this on the board however many times, and everybody knows, you know, like that watches The Simpsons, every episode when the show starts, he's writing something different. And
so they write those Bible verses, and guess what, you know, we're doing double things. So now this is your punishment, but you also get something good out of it because you're also memorizing Bible verses.
Exactly.
You know?
And there's nothing better the knowing the word, having that sword to fight the enemy with. That's your weapon right there, yo.
And 2 pages, like front and back. Well, it depends on how old the child is, but you're doing at least 2 pages front and back. So by the time you finish 2 pages front and back, you know how to spell every word in the book of the Bible, where to find it, what page, and all of that.
That's right. And something else that, our pastor gave us the idea was the love shirt.
Oh yeah, I love the love shirt.
I get one of my shirts and put a couple of the kids that's just having issues together with each other, put them in it.
Yeah.
Put them in that shirt and just make them hug each other.
Yeah. Can't get along?
Yeah.
You're gonna hug each other.
You're gonna love each other out of this.
Yeah. Hug your way through it. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
About the funniest
we did that in Florida because a couple of them were just annoying the heck out of us. So we just got back yesterday and we need a vacation, yo.
Yeah, anybody want to babysit? Inboxes or
alright, now y'all be always chatting and chiming in. Now y'all want to get all quiet. Come on now. Somebody want to watch a baby.
We just need a couple babysitters.
Yeah, we only got 11 kids. It ain't even that many.
Right.
We got rid of 5 in the last 2 days already. So who else wants some more?
Wait, we only got a few left.
Yeah.
Get them while they hot. But anyway.
Going like hotcakes.
But yeah, I don't even remember what you were saying before that. I just got excited with the babysitter part.
Yeah, we was talking about the love shirt. So down in Florida, a couple of them were just at each other's nerves, and that's something that is going to happen when you have that many children. I mean, when I was younger, just growing up with my big brother, we was always at each other because I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but like little siblings always look up to the bigger siblings, and so there's like that point in time when the ages are a little closer and they get along, they can play with each other, they're interested in the same types of things. But once they start getting a little older, their interest starts changing. They don't want to be around the little kids. I'm putting my floating quotation marks because I don't want to be around these little kids all the time. I'm like, yo, you was just playing like babysitter, baby house teacher in school with them like 10 minutes ago. Now you too old to be dealing with them. But that transition does not work the same for the younger ones. It's like, yo, hold up. We were just playing last week. I can't play with you now. And so now they're in the picking stage where they just want to be up under them and want to do things with them. But it just doesn't work. So dealing with that is, oh my gosh. That's a whole nother day spent talking about that. But
it's funny because like I watch... Because we had the 5-year-old, Gabby and Kennedy. So Gabby follows Kennedy, the 9-year-old, around all day long. And Kennedy's, stop it! Get away from me! Don't sit next to me! Why are you following me? Stop looking at me! Why are you doing the same things I'm doing? Like, it's just all day long. And I laugh. I have to laugh because Kennedy follows the older one. It's not as much because she's getting a little older, kind of doing her own thing. But when she was younger, she was following the older ones around. And I have to remind her, your younger siblings look up to you. It's kind of like a good and a bad thing to you because you kind of want to do your own thing and not have to worry about having a little younger one toting beside you and all of that. But it's like, but then on the other hand, you want to make sure like it gets on your nerves. So, yeah.
So anyway, so with all of that, it is like really so much that comes into play with that, and like Lynette said, was saying, being creative with different kids, and when you have a blended family, you're blending 2 different families together, 2 different parenting styles together. And a couple weeks ago on our last show, we talked a little bit about that as far as the way you raise your kids and the way that your spouse raises their children, and then bringing it all together and trying to come together on one accord for one main common goal of raising the children. And dealing with the fact that you don't want your child that you come into this relationship with to feel any different than your spouse's children. And so